In his short tenure, the Absolute Batman has managed to overcome some truly twisted, truly horrifying, truly monstrous villains. But do all of them pale in comparison to the mysterious new Absolute Joker? Well, let's hop into the pages of Absolute Batman issue number 15 and find out the answer to this and more questions ourselves, shall we? So yeah, this issue is basically the big origin story for the brand new Absolute Joker as told by Agent Alfred. We knew that Al had actually been tracking this guy and JK Industries for a long time. What we didn't know is how truly deep all of this really went. We knew that the Joker was incredibly wealthy, but as we learn in this issue, he also owns a ton of small islands jotted all over the world, and I mean really. In a post-Epstein world, need we really say more about an evil guy with island money? That, though, is just the stuff that makes sense to Alfred. This guy's actual story, as we learn, is filled with confliction and double meaning. To truly understand who the Joker is, Alfred attempted to understand his family line. It all started with his great-grandfather, a man named Jack Grimm. Jack was a young juggler who delighted masses with his comedy act. Even though he was an orphan and came from nothing, he managed to leave laughter everywhere he went. His act was so successful in its day, he went from performing vaudeville-style sketches outside a dentist's office to eventually investing in movie theaters and the early silent pictures. This is where Jack Grimm would make his first fortune and where the JK or Just Kidding Corporation would ultimately be born. Grimm would rub shoulders with a bunch of the Gilded Age greats, the Rockefellers, and the Carnegies, just to name a few, you know, people who were richer than gods, who everything is still named after them all these decades later. Men who founded American dynasties. The big difference being that Jack Grimm didn't want to be nearly as public as these guys. He didn't want his name to be on all the good charitable works that he would ultimately end up doing. You see, Jack never actually lost the ideology of a clown. He wanted to bring laughter. He wanted to bring joy. Be it with soup kitchens, children's hospitals, and other great works, Jack would die in the 30s, but would be preceded by his son, Jack Grimm Jr., another early investor into Hollywood, before eventually becoming an early adopter of TV entertainment. Oh, so he was a Howard Hughes type. All of these new advancements and new investments also meant more diversification. Jack Grimm Jr. would found more companies, but instead of naming them something normal, he would name them after famous clowns from history like Pagliacci, Perot, Fox. No one batted an eye because once again, Jack Grimm Jr. invested in a lot of charities, specifically orphanages to deal with the ever-growing influx of war orphans. By the 60s, it would be time for Jack Grimm III to make his mark on the world. What was his contribution? Well, he got really involved with the creation of cable news. Oh god, he's Rupert Murdoch, as well as offsetting this by being sure to invest in public broadcasting to teach the children of America. This trend would continue with Jack Grimm IV, who decided to get involved in early video games, as well as a renewed fervor to try and take JK's philanthropic streak absolutely global this time, paving the way for, you guessed it, Jack Grimm V. The man we've seemingly been dealing with this whole time, and obviously I don't think I need to tell you that this Jack completely threw his muscle behind the internet and social media, as well as hardware and software, including computer chips. These endeavors would make the newest Jack Grimm a true full-on trillionaire. Now you might also be wondering 3 minutes in, okay, what's the catch? What's the problem here? It's certainly what Batman is asking, and as Alfred explains, that entire story you just heard, while it is the truth, it is also one giant lie. For starters, there was no great family line of Jack Grimms. No, they were all one person. Yes, their great works were impressive, but what no one ever truly saw was the deep dark side to all of it. How the boy who juggled outside a dentist's office also used the laughing gas to poison the crowd and pick their pockets. How the man who made silent movies also made propaganda for the United States and the Nazi Party, prolonging and intensifying that conflict so that he could sell to both sides, a tactic that he would only further refine as he took it into the future. Hell, Alfred himself had only really become aware of Jack Grimm and JK's evildoing after his own partner went missing. A man who we can see has been kept alive in the present so that Jack Grimm can hunt him on his own own island for sport. Of course, this all still begs the question, if Jack Grimm is one person who's been alive all this time, how the hell was that possible? Well, it seems that all of those children's charities were actually all a front for some truly twisted medical experiments that prolong Jack's life unnaturally while also transforming him into something much less human. Oh, he still stayed true to the ideology of a clown, but what is a clown after all? An exaggeration of humanity. A cruel mockery. We laugh at the Joker, but the Joker also laughs at us. Why do you think there are so many stories throughout collected fiction of the jester ultimately being the harbinger of something truly horrible? And indeed, the Joker has become something incredibly horrible. Alfred isn't sure if it's the infernal science that turned him into this creature, or if perhaps he made some dark pact with an otherworldly entity. Either way, the reason the Joker never laughs in this world is because the laugh is the last thing that many people, like Alfred's old partner, ever end up hearing. Also, if a lot of this history-spanning Joker stuff sounds familiar to you, it probably should, because what this basically is Scott Snyder's own Pale Man concept from his Batman run, only expanded and seen to full fruition. Batman has heard enough of this story and decides that he needs to get back to work. Alfred worries, though, that maybe he did the wrong thing by telling Bruce who and what the Joker is. Maybe he didn't do a good job imparting the severity of this situation. Oh, sure, Batman has been lucky up until now. He's even managed to meet other amazing heroes like Wonder Woman. But truly, there is no way that he could ever be possibly prepared for who and what the Joker is and what he could no doubt do to him now that he is officially in his crosshairs. As the comic comes to a close, we see the Joker return to Gotham City. It's here he walks past his butler into a palatial estate where he moves the hands on a clock before deciding to retreat into his own personal sanctum, his own cave. His words, not mine. And so that was Absolute Batman issue number 15, everybody. This was the big one, the one that everyone was waiting for, and I gotta take my hat off to Snyder and company because I think they really did manage to deliver something special here. Reinventing the Joker for modern times could not have been easy, but I'm happy to say they break all the rules in the best way, much in the same way they did with Reinventing Batman. As I said before, this version of the Joker feels like a much more fleshed out, much more realized version of the old Pale Man concept, but it's also so much more. The Joker in this new Absolute universe is the grand personification of some of America's oldest sins. The fact that every great fortune is usually based on some great crime, and that for whatever reason way too many people conflate success and wealth with goodness, allowing the ultra-rich and powerful to insulate themselves from any and all criticism or actual real justice when they do something wrong. There's also something very eerily modern tech bro about this new version of the Joker. He has all the money in the world, the ability to play God, choosing who will live and who will die. He has everything anyone could ever possibly want, and because of that, he is absolutely terrified of his own mortality, willing to go to any depraved length to stay alive and keep doing what he's doing. After all, death is just another rule that doesn't apply to him. And that's all before we even get to the other extra added dimension that Joker has his own mansion with butler and cave. He is basically living the life that mainline Bruce lives. It's all super compelling, and I honestly cannot wait until this new Batman and this new Joker actually end up sharing a panel together. Overall, I would give this one a very well-deserved 9 out of 10. Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel again, thanking you so much for watching to the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, why not check out my Amazon link down in the description. Yes, that's right, the Cape Joel channel officially has its own Amazon storefront now. You can pick up a comic or anything else for that matter, and if you did, you'd really be helping me and the channel. So with that out of the way everyone, I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.